Good morning, everyone. It is great to be here. I am your host, username _Intel, here with Ballsy's Basics in real life, RTX 360 on Mr. Chef _Zombie. How are you doing today?
Outside of that, not too bad, I'd say. How are you doing yourself?
I have to say I'm doing great. We're out here casting Tenacity versus MI6. Both of these teams have been doing so far well in the regular season, not dropping a game. So it's definitely something to look out for. No!
Oh, shot! Oh, wait,
Oh,
wait. Is is Bendy okay?
yeah, sure. Just give us a solid second. If you can hear us, we're currently going through some issues. That was a really good one, too. I can't lose that. I'm gonna
The first take, you just straight up called me bald. That one, you just straight up called me bald.
If I get it, you think we're okay? Okay, well, either way, this is the second take we had to do, and I don't want to go through a third one. I would have to rethink everything. It'll be really funny to me. But we're here with Tenacity versus MI6. Both of these teams not dropping a single kind of game so far, so this is kind of the opening to see who takes over the #1 seed in the intermediate division.
Yeah, both teams going 3-0. Tenacity 3-0 is being much cleaner, only dropping a single map throughout the season so far. Meanwhile, MI6 going to map 5 against Thought Police, as well as also well, that was the only map losses, I think. I can't remember.
Quite possibly. It's not something for us to remember. That's why we've got leaderboards. But either way, we're starting first out on Nepal. And I do believe this is your favorite map in the game, or at least for Control.
Favorite Control map, yeah. I wouldn't say, probably not my favorite map, but it's still a good Control map. I feel you actually get a good variety in the maps, including, I also really like Village, getting the Brawl in, and then you can like also kind of get like some variety in on Sanctum, and then Shrine as well, having I kind of like the layout of Shrine too, how it has a variety, you can play into it a variety of different ways. And so I'm excited to see what these teams run.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, we can, Sir Pendy, just asking us a quick question, but I definitely agree. Nepal is just one of those really good maps, gives you a bit of variety, bit of everything. I feel most importantly, the meta seems to be shifting kind of towards a double shield, so I feel it kind of helps out more than not on Nepal.
Yeah, Nepal, you can honestly, like, I feel like almost any map can cater to almost any kind of comp. It looks like we are going into this is Sanctum first. Although, wait, I thought we could see the wait. I'm looking at the stream and it says in, but on my you're still at the.
Oh, yep, we're having some technical issues on this side as the stream doesn't seem to want to be working.
I can't see the stream.
Yeah, we are going to be going to a 5-minute pause.
Oh, wait, there we go. Okay.
Stream's now fixed up. Not that much of an issue. It's now back up, and I think we can begin now. Obviously, speak a bit about the compositions.
We got some split cop. Oh,
but
no.
look, that we are going to.
Point control going over to
It's going to be able to find out Swifters. While we see Epic Shot doing an amazing job of putting pressure onto the backline, Fifi not being able to really push out. It just seems that they're putting a lot of pressure onto them so they can just kind of play where they want.
They're playing the split comp very well. You kind of got Oats sitting here on the Sig, kind of camping out shields to help Squirrelben just pump in this damage, especially with the pocket from Adifi here. And then you got kind of Epic Shock and Ravioli out doing their own thing. And we haven't seen them do much yet, but I'm excited to see what they're able to do.
I think it kind of leaves open to different possibilities. They are somewhat flipping the point. MI6 now having control, but they need to kind of keep it. They do have the Transcendence using it against the Gravitic Flux. They lose their Brig, however, they manage to find Epic Shock in the fight. Swifter's also able to win out that Tracer 1v1, now having an opportunity to kind of dive in, build up that Pulse Bomb while one clipping the Zenyatta. This is not looking good for the side of Tenacity.
Claiming the control point before the fight even started. They already have a control percentage advantage going, almost evening out with Tenacity already, and the fight not even breaking out yet, just from having that control point. But we do see Swifters with the Pulse Bomb actually getting the defeat.
Yeah, somewhat interesting. Now they're taking the opportunity that MI6 are low. They managed to find out the McCree, and now they're putting pressure while making sure that they're on the point. It now is in a contesting state while we see the rest of Tenacity trying to back out. They want to wait a second. They do manage to get Andrew out and place mines on the point. Now they're having a center advantage. The Tracer able to find out. Seems also Epic Shock's not going to be able to survive very long. But the Zenyatta is managing to find Woolie's looking to do that. But this payload, I mean, this point is still not capped. It's still on to MI6, even with the ball managing to get it. And now the capture's going straight to the other side.
Yeah, that took forever to capture there, honestly. Just, you had MI6, even though they weren't really getting the picks, they just never, they were able to still rack up this percentage, already at 65% compared to Tenacity. Wait, that's actually 69%. It's a funny number, nice. Alright, so we got the Gravitic Flux and the Valve coming in from Tenacity here. Probably, they do have the Transcendence, though, from Flames of Ra to counteract this Gravitic Flux when it does come through. So, we'll see how that goes for them.
I think it's a lot of opportunities to see how they pop it out. Oh, it's just doing an amazing job with that shield pressure, but now the point's going to be contested. They're looking to get it with the ball, but it looks like we're going to be seeing Fifi managing to escape. Now point pressure being on that 1 second off of it will be more of a capture towards MI6. Looks like Ravioli is able to find out Fifi, and Woolie's in an kind of favorable position. Now being caught out, trying to put pressure onto anyone that moves in, but still isn't able to really help out the team as much as he wants to. Now we see them putting pressure onto this point, continuing to move inside the fight, and there's not much they can do as we enter into 96%. They have to just put pressure, but Woolie's going to be picked out really early inside the fight. Andrew able to find out Scrobin's bomb. Same with Roy managing to find Ravioli. Scrobin not being able to do much. Epic Shock getting burnt down, and they're going to have an opportunity for one more fight.
Yeah, I feel like just having... They ended up committing the Flux early in that fight when Epic Shock slams in and actually ends up missing, so you don't even need the Transcendence from Flames or Raw, and he's able to hold on to that to allow him to sustain in this fight much longer and actually end up winning overall in that fight. But we're coming up here on 80, not almost 90% now, so it's going to be final fight on this point, and we have a Pulse Bomb on both sides to see how it goes.
First pick is going to mean a lot as Fifi's able to get Epic Shot. Now they're playing on this point. Swifter's just looking for the opportunity to place that Pulse Bomb, but gets shot up by Scrobin before anything could happen. The damage boost on an Ash is absolutely insane. Able to get that second pick. They're putting themselves on the point. Flame playing from really far away. Scrobin now showing to be the carry of the team that they've always needed. Oats used the Grid First, manages to slam down on Woolie, while Flames is going to be finished out, and it looks like they're going to need some Sagger and such at point. I don't really think they have the opportunity to. Yeah, that's a bit unfortunate as we see Tenacity being able to finish that out.
Yeah, Swifter's just not using that Pulse Bomb. They're kind of ended up just kind of trying to engage on the Scrobin. They're out in the open, honestly, and Scrobin was capitalizing off of that. And then following it up with two more really nice picks. Overall, just a really great play from Scrobin to be able to win them that fight.
Definitely agree. I really like the positioning at least they tried to do. They focused more on centering around Oats rather than focusing kind of split, which is what that Diva's kind of able to do. But now they're kind of going into a centered brawl. I don't expect Fifi to stay on that ball. Well, actually, maybe. Their composition is really good, but what is really the kind of advantage that both teams get from this?
I mean, you generally are going to see the brawl is just going to try and collapse onto these immobile targets of the support line of MI6, so it's going to be down to them to be able to try and prevent them from collapsing on them by using this ball, as well as even the Pharah, just trying to punch as much damage into them as they can before they get to the supports to to allow them to win these fights. But that's going to be hard to do when you have the DM of Diva from Oats and as well as Epic Shot's big shield.
Yeah, looks like MI6 are actually going to be able to get the cap. Tenacity went out of their way to try to find Fifi, but they're going to be giving that up, and eventually iMustache is going to be picked out. They're trying to rotate, but it seems the bald head of Chef is going to be blocking out their vision as they're just continuously to be blasted by Swifters and have a stable ult percentage advantage.
Keep it in the lobby, what? Okay, but you caught Tenacity was basically almost at MI6's spawn, just trying to chase Fifi there, and then honestly just coming back to the point. MI6 was already set up to just barrage down on them with the Pharah from Swifters, already having a barrage actually. Double entendre there with the barrage, I guess. But Oats is actually able to zone him out.
Oh, that's not good, especially because Wooly eventually gets found. Now they've lost the Pharah in the sky. They're not going to be able to put in a lot of damage. Oats' mech is going to go dangerously low, but it looks like Adifi's able to pick out Andrew. The hack going onto Fifi, they're not going to be able to pop out those mines. Even with the hack onto the Tracer, they'll not be able to flip back this point.
Yeah, just really pick on the Swifters there. He's just not able to get any value, and then Wooly just trying to get out of there, but already was stuck with the Pharah, and then that's kind of like one of the issues with having a Pharah Mercy is if the Pharah goes down, your Mercy's kind of out of position if there's no one around for her to fly to, and it's really hard for her to stay alive afterwards.
And now look, that's absolutely amazing. We see Revula being able to find out Flames. They've lost that Transcendence for this fight. Diva Bomb going high in the sky from Andrew, not being able to find the anyone really, but it pressures them out. Now we see the Barrage being able to get the Moira, but it looks like Kadifi's not ready to end out this fight. They're still kind of messily going in, but the rest of MI6, they don't really have the contingencies to stay, especially without that Transcendence.
Yeah, honestly, this comp swap onto the 6-man is really going to benefit them more. They have way more... It's a lot more helpful for them to be able to go onto these targets because they have way more mobility with the Reaper Wraith and Fade from Moira and Leap from Monkey. All that sort of stuff is going to really help them. And they also have an EMP here. They don't really have anything really to combo with it, but the EMP itself is just... It's not going to... I honestly wouldn't be surprised if they don't commit it, but they do and get 6 with it.
That's absolutely insane. That 6-man EMP is basically guaranteed. We even seen Epic Shot going back onto the Monkey. He's going to be able to start running his group and deciding to invest the Death Blossom. May have been unnecessary, but still a clean ability to use.
Yeah, I'd agree. Well, you didn't really need that Death Blossom. You were already up in the fight. And honestly, the side of MI6, they had just swapped all 6 people. They literally had 0 ultimates to worry about there. And, I mean, honestly, it could have been questionable if they could have won that fight with just the EMP.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Now they don't have it for this fight. Andrew's able to find out Oats, but it looks like Squirrelband and the Coalescence are going to be helping out a lot. They're just continuously moving forward without a fear behind their eyes. Squirrelband being able to find out Andrew with the 3k Epic Cut, now building up that primal range. Fifi needs to build that bomb up if they want to have any chance, but booped off the map. It's an unfortunate scenario because it seems Tenacity are going to be showing a strong start and winning first map.
Yeah, it comes down there to they just didn't have any sort of ultimates. They swapped, honestly, in my opinion, just swapped way too late if they were even going to swap. They honestly probably at that point would have been better off just sticking to their split comp, even if it wasn't going to work out as well for them. Just having those ultimates is honestly going to potentially even earn them a fight or two later on if they just kept on to the comp.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like MI6, they just didn't have kind of the opportunities to move in, or at some points they struggled, and it was a kind of big issue, especially on a map where they were running to run that dive or just centric of working together. They didn't have the advantage, and now we're going on to King's Road next, and I worry that could be a bigger issue for MI6 in the future.
Yeah, MI6 have been mainly showing this split comp as of like the start of this series. They did kind of show a brawl a little bit there, but I'm honestly kind of excited to see if they're going to try running this on King's Row itself now, or are they going to kind of pull? I guess if you've watched Advanced, kind of like Goofy Goobers in the advanced division last week. Ran like they did run the ball Diva comp into Tenacity. Well, not Tenacity. It was Axolotl Syndicate was their opponent, but it kind of had a little bit of success. But I wouldn't be surprised if they maybe try it here. We'll see what they end up doing. It's looking like it's going to be a Ryan Sig, which honestly also makes they end up just going for the standard brawl with the Sig rather. I feel Fifi's just more comfortable in the Sig rather than the Diva, but we're going to be on the Widow. Probably just going to go for an opening pick here just to see what they go for. But having that site, I feel like they had to see Tenacity come into this corridor that they're sitting in under the statue here.
I definitely agree. And it seems Roy immediately not even going to worry to switch over to the McCree, but Fifi wants to stay over to that Sigma. It's kind of a difference, leads into playstyles, but Epic Shot and the rest of Tenacity just want to move forward, no cares in the world. That immortality coming out from MI6, and Andrew's going to go down dangerously low, but it looks like Epic Shot's just going to leave Oats instead. It's going to decide to pick out Swifters first, and now they have that first pick. Without the Mei to worry about, they can continue walking forward, so they're just waiting to get a bit of healing, using that Mei wall to try to find them out, where they're not finding any isolated targets, meaning that they just want to force them back.
Swifters kind of got really over ambitious there in that fight, just trying to get the freeze onto those tanks, but they ended up just Swifters being on his own there and just not able to get any value.
And now look, they rotate all the way behind, force the window out from iMustache, but Monarch goes down. That's not what you're looking for. Same with Roy, Andrew, the continuation of just melting them down. That rotation
kind of team wipe.
It fully bit them in the foot.
Yeah, just overall, just the window just pumping in the damage and the heals. There was not much that MI6 just they kind of just stayed there, and I honestly felt like they would have been better off if they just kept going. Honestly, just rather than just staying in that location, if they just kept going, maybe on another rotation to stall that out, so that way they're not just sitting there and actually able to do something.
I see what you mean. And now they're deciding to move in. Using that Blizzard for the initial engage combined with the window, it's able to not only find Oats, but a Deefy, and eventually Squirrelbin stuck inside the backline. It's going to allow them to just charge right in, find Epic Shot, and get the first capture of the map. They need to keep up that momentum.
Yeah, overall, that was a very clean fight. Early wall off on the Oats got him really low, and they had to pump a lot of resources into him just to keep him up. And so those resources weren't really going into people like Epic Shock, who are going to really rely on him in a brawl.
Yeah, and then in the end, you're not going to have that out. We see Squirrelbin being able to find out Fifi, and it looks like Tenacity just want to take that in, but the Shatter is looking to even things out. Ravioli trying to just slow them back by using the High Noon. It's going to be punished, so Squirrelbin uses the Mei wall, and it's just running out, retreating like Ratatouille.
Honestly, that was a very clean headshot from Swifters on the Ravioli there. That was awesome to see. They didn't really commit too many ults here from the side of Tenacity, still having 4 of those 6 ultimates up, as well as MI6 actually coming up on 4 of their own. But I feel like if they get this early window out here and can catch someone out, I feel like this is likely going to favor Tenacity in this fight, unless this Flux is able to get value.
I don't know, Fifi manages to find 4, gets the sound barrier out. Otis Diva Bomb does manage to trade out with Wooly, and the Blizzard being committed forces everyone on MI6 back, whereas Epic Shock gets traded out in the fight, so iMustache is even by getting Andrew. Fifi not being able to live for too much longer. It even seems that Swifter's trying to even things out by getting the Blizzard, but Ravioli is getting a lot of damage. Same with iMustache, they have enough to pump in, and while Wooly may be coming back, he's just going right back to the spawn room regardless.
That early pick with the Diva Bomb on the Wooly is very rough for them because they don't have that beat to actually help them to sustain through all the other ultimates that Tenacity ended up using. They end up using all 4 of their ultimates and now only have the Shatter. Meanwhile, you do have both support ultimates on the side of MI6 here, and they have an ability to use this beat if there is a Shatter that comes in to just help them live through it. So I feel like this could go in the favor of MI6 on capping this.
I agree. Look at that shatter. We're going to be seeing Epic Shock being able to get 3 with it, but not much of a follow-up. Wooly has Sound Barrier, and now Roy walking in with the speed high Nudes. Eventually going to burst through a defeat, and the shatter managing to find out Ravioli. Not enough inside the back pocket, and that window's going to get no use as we see MI6 having a clean ult advantage in that fight.
Yeah, and there was that beat that I talked about. Wooly was able to avoid the shatter and actually beat the rest of his team and actually keep them all alive, at least for the duration of the shatter. And then it allowed them to build up both that high noon and that shatter of their own and just use them, even shutting out the high noon from Ravioli himself.
Yeah, I definitely see what you mean. So now when they want to come up into this fight, Oats is really the only one with kind of the advantage. Not only having the Diva Bomb, but in the back pocket, they have the Blizzard. So it's kind of a slow ensemble of just waiting to see who builds that ult and who invests it first.
To be really disciplined here, trying to hold on to this mech just to try and do anything that Oats can do to stop this Blizzard from Swifters if they want to hold on to this fight.
Oh yeah, look how much Oats is being really patient. Eventually gonna be throwing it out while retreating. That bomb isn't able to find much as Andrew and Monarch are able to start cleaning up the rest. And this is in a dangerous point. Look at where that payload is currently.
Yeah, Oats is just kind of forced to use the bomb just to try and hold out the fight. And now he's not there for when the Blizzard comes out.
And eventually, even with that sound barrier to kind of come in very late, they'll be just shaving off with that time and gonna be able to capture with a sizable bank.
Yeah, 231, actually a pretty good time bank, honestly, for King's Row. It's not the worst. It's definitely not the worst. They definitely could have won a couple, definitely had a better first point. Kind of lost a couple fights there. That kind of slows time down a little bit, but outside of that, once they got the ball rolling, kind of just went down the hill and it just kept speeding up, almost never stopping, except for 1 point midway through first, but
I'd have to say, they're really rocking the papa, being able to eat that spinach up and walk the ball, similar to you. So I'm hoping to see that they have a bit of a cleaner push. I think that Sigma was a really good idea. I think the Gravitic Flux kind of helped them a lot out in these fights.
Yeah, the Gravitic Flux actually helped them force out a lot of the sound barriers from a defeat, and then they don't really have them for those situations where if your team gets shattered or if there's a big blizzard that you are able to help beat to keep the teammates alive or just anything of that sort. And so it looks like similar comps, although Fifi this time is going to be on the Diva. I do see the Sig being definitely way more used on an offensive attack rather than the defense. So we should see how Fifi does on the Diva here.
Like that idea. Now we're seeing Scrubin walk out, which on the was on the Widowmaker, but he's gonna go straight over to the Mei, and they're taking that slow sample. That Mei wall is gonna be able to block out the main tanks not being able to move in together. So it looks like Scrubin's gonna be able to block off Andrew. That immortality was LOS, unfortunately enough. So it seems that the rest of MI6, they're gonna be shaving off hairs inside of a bucket for a charity stream.
Yeah, honestly, that's just an unlucky immortality from Monarch, just barely missing Andrew there, and the charge is just able to finish him off. Honestly, the situation was almost as hairy as Intel.
You're finally catching on. But now we're at a moment where it's kind of Eye Mustache building up that window. It seems MI6, they want to take an early fight, especially at this choke. It's one of the best areas to kind of hold early. Already bowling out that fire strike, just looking for a moment to shine.
Yeah, we're excited to see this early window here. Eye Mustache, once again, building the first window here. Hopefully to see this get a lot of value, honestly, just to keep the ball rolling, because this is what they need if they want to have a better time bank than MI6 on this attack.
Yep, using that immortality, Eye Mustache has used the window, but it looks like that shatter from Eye Mustache isn't gonna be enough, as Andrew's fire strike is able to cut down two like a barber in a shop, and it looks like MI6 is gonna be able to clean this up, and it's just gonna be better for the hold.
Yeah, that ended up almost basically being a 1-up, as the fire strike from Epic Shock through the window ends up getting 1, but Andrew's just able to come back with a bigger one, getting 2 with his own through their window from Monarch coming out. we do have 3 ults on the side of MI6. And they are forced to back up here just from losing people and having such a long respawn compared to Tenacity. And then they do back up and coming out with an early high noon here.
Yeah, looking like a bunch of gold players right now. You wouldn't know about that, Chef, as we see them use that shatter. It is going to be blocked. Now popping in a couple of ultimates. That Diva Bomb able to get 3, combined with the Blizzard's Winters and just trying to make something out of it. But it seems Tenacity is going to be able to move this payload a bit farther while the staggers just continue to hit MI6.
Yeah, the big bomb coming out from Oates. I wasn't aware of seeing what happened to Andrew there, where he got caught out. Because unless he was frozen or stunned, it could have either or. If it was one of those, definitely a good job from the DPS players. But if it was just a mistake on Andrew, then that's unfortunate for MI6.
Fair enough, but now look, MI6 are taking a very early fight back into this, looking for an opportunity to end their chances. Using that Maywall, we're going to be seeing Scrubman pop out the Blizzards, looking for an opportunity to shut down that tank. It's going to be very unfortunate for MI6. Now they have to force themselves on. Epic Shock does have Shatter, going to be popping it out, looking to end somebody's life, and that May's not going to be the one to be going home alive as we just continuously pushing down. The Reiner just being able to kind of W forward, has nothing to worry about, and that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, just a clean fight coming in, just almost clean sweeping all of MI6 there, capping second. And they got a really good time bank here, like over 4.5 minutes just to get to here. They honestly are looking like they might just have that time bank. Although they do have the window and the high noon from MI6, but Tenacity having a window of their own and committing it early.
It's kind of a moment that they're looking for. They just want to make that space. Oates throws out the Diva Bomb. They're looking to make a combo, but they're hiding inside that room. Now looking for the remake kill. They're taking that flank switch. They're able to find out Scrubman combined with the window. And the, oh man, Shatter's going to be ending them out. Combined with the Blizzard. There's no way Tenacity can win that. Like, I'm surprised Chef has hair.
Honestly, Swifters with the Blizzard giving them a really cold shower since they didn't shower this month. Only boomers understand. But just committing all of their ults into that fight. And now only the beat from a Adifi here on the side of Tenacity. They can use this beat to get a hard engage to build that shatter, if anything.
Yeah, now they're looking in. We're going to be seeing that Soundbayer committed from a DP as they continue to move in. As Chef is stealing jokes and Epic Shock is stealing their chances to have a higher time bank. Just managing to pull in and get a clean roll. They are going to be able to capture this point quite possibly with a bit over 3 minutes.
A very clean attack coming in here from Tenacity. Actually having a slightly bigger time bank. Forcing the time banks to drop down to where MI6 is only at 2 minutes, having a 39-second advantage. 39 seconds to some people may seem like the world, but it might be one fight difference.
I definitely agree. I feel like 39 seconds, it's kind of exactly what it takes for at least one stagger before a real fight. Kind of in that like 1 minute overtime type of scenario, it can be very dangerous. So either MI6 do an amazing job of pushing, or they have to do a better job at holding.
It's got to be one or the other. You're right. But we're going to see very similar things. Roy on the sim this time. I'm excited to see if he's going to stick to it or if he's going to swap. We do have the standard on the side of Tenacity, though. But we'll see where this goes. They're going to try the same thing as they did last time. Although, Epic Shock on top of the statue. I kind of wasn't expecting that. If he's actually going to stay there, or is he just...
It's a bit of a meme, I think. I more expect Roy to kind of pull out some big brain strategies. I know when you have Wooly there, there's only 2 things you're getting: Fur as a sheep or some good strategies. But
yeah. I mean, Wooly, the name says it for the sheep, honestly, but let's see, he does drop down off the statue very short after. Not really sure what he was doing there, but he did something. Oh, the TP, though, coming across the high ground, very smart.
Yeah, playing like their silver DPS, they're just moving around, but it seems that Tenacity understand their win condition, and they're gonna be running immediately in. Fifi caught a bit off guard, especially that amazing Mei wall. The immortality may be there, but there is just nothing to save their life from the insanity that we call Brawl. The rest of MI6 just having to fall down on point, not gonna be able to do much here as they just go back to the spawn room.
Honestly, very bad idea to go in that sterile. Very small brain on like the longitudinal wall, I should say. Just now you have to break every single pillar if you're gonna save those guys. And when you have to break so many pillars, and each one of them having so much HP, you're just not able to save them from that Mei wall.
Yeah, it's kind of a big struggle. That's what makes Mei so powerful, specifically on King Crow. Now we've seen the counter rotation. It worked for them before, so that window's gonna come out. The Fire Strike not able to get much, but we see Epic Shock has to shatter. This could be a big opportunity for them. We're still waiting for MI6 to build a major ult to kind of help themselves out. They're blasting through Epic Shock's shield. He's not gonna have much when it comes to ulting, so he pops out the shatter. The Mei wall gonna be able to block a bit of it. However, the Mei still gets found out. Swifted not gonna be able to build up much more. Roy now using that window. It seems they're going to be losing their main tick as Fifi's able to use that slam, bringing up their chances. Ravioli just trying to kill them. Manages to find Roy, but there's not much left in it. Oates is good. Maybe a Smurf and is able to find out Wooly. This is now kind of a winnable situation. Continuing to fight on the point. The Sigma's there, but they're going to be pressuring out Monarch. The Maze return to help out, and it's a 2v1, so Oates can't go goats even with Epic Shock is back on the fight. He'll just end up like Chef's hair 2 months ago, back inside the gunner.
Yeah, honestly, that was very, very dicey for MI6. Honestly, if anything, that was very unfortunate. Seeing just from the POV, watching the beat come out and not hit Squirrel Ben in the flux and just watch him die, I felt sad. Honestly,
It
but
broke my heart, you know.
They're gonna cap first here and regroup as 6, and they're just probably gonna go in here for a very early fight. Just anything they can just to get as many fights in as possible. And as I say that,
oh, it's already happening. You didn't even have a moment to really talk about it. Wooly is so far back, has to use the sound barrier, but the rest of his team is gone. We're gonna be seeing Epic Shock use that shatter. That's cleaning up. That is the best condition you can be looking for. Man, I am so
42
impressed.
meters.
I'm impressed with Tenacity's aggression. It's almost, you know, it's kind of similar to how you and Drowsy are bald. It's a matching kind of ideal that they're having when it comes to working together.
Honestly, just a very very aggressive hold there. Very short push. Almost nowhere near as long as Intel's hair, but very, like, I think that's almost one of the closest holds I've ever seen, at least after first. But honestly, like, that's barely, like, you don't even get to hold arches there. You have to hold, like, spawn practically. So it's like you never really see the cart only go there, because you at least see it get to the arch. And it does look like MI6 are going to have the Sig for this defense rather than the Diva. I really feel like this is kind of more of a comfort thing as well. It's not like it's a bad pick either. So it's like I don't have a problem with it, but
I don't have too much of an issue, but I'm worried about MI6's ability. I guess to kind of stick onto this aggressive mind style. They're not able to fully commit, and I worry that's maybe because they're deciding to run the Sigma, which changes up how you play, especially against Oates' Diva, who has consistently been showing to kind of play against it.
yeah, honestly, the difference between Diva and Sig is that denial of the gravitic grasp in the defense matrix. The defense matrix is able to basically be a way more consistent denial as a very short cooldown, and you can like pop it wherever. It just has a much bigger range. Meanwhile, Sig's is like a very short range as well as having quite a long cooldown once you actually use it. So I feel like Diva's just more consistent. Personally.
Yeah, but something more consistent is I mustache ult charge of consistency, building up that windows, able to burst down Andrew, and now they're holding off this point. MI6 don't have an opportunity to reset and kind of get back. That payload's basically free to just cap, and they find out Fifi, Monarch, Roy, and that's just not gonna feel good in the morning if I do say so.
Yeah, they're honestly, here's Epic Shock really just trying to make sure that They give no space to MI6. Even the pick's still coming through.
Yeah, they're just looking to do the best that they can. They want to stagger them, kind of hold, make sure they have no opportunity. Even Fifi's Gravitic Flux is going to be able to help them out much. That bomb just placing there, and it seems like Oats is going to be BMing even at the end of a fight as Tenacity take the lead 2-0. And while I wouldn't say it's dominant, I would say at a fair advantage.
Definitely not a dominant performance per se. Like, MI6 did finish their attack with 2.5 minutes actually, and it's just been like but just Tenacity's just on another level, honestly, and at least in this game.
Man, I am kind of a bit I guess not really impressed by Tenacity. I think something that's always been a bright side is just their kind of ability to work together. These guys have never been afraid to continue moving forward and kind of hit that back pedal. We've seen that against Mortal Wombats. We've seen that against pretty much any team they've ever gone against. And I think maybe that's due to their coaching or Squirrelbin's alpha chat energy. But it's just kind of a part of how they do. Maybe even their coach, Faye, who's basically their mom. But Chef, we're going on to possibly the last map of the night, Watchpoint Gibraltar. Now, how do you feel about this map?
I mean, Watchpoint Gibraltar is a very, like, unique map. I feel like almost no matter what the meta is, you're always going to see some type of dive on this map just because of how immersive it is with its many different high grounds and all that. It's a very intricate map. You do have, at least third point is generally more kind of played as a brawl sometimes, but overall, you generally see so much more of the divier comps coming through here. Like, I'm expecting to see double bubble from both sides, and not having seen it from either side, as well as this actually being the only map that Tenacity has lost, losing it against Capitalism.
Yeah, I heard that stop in your voice. For those who know the script that the intermediate chords have written up, don't even worry about it right now. But you are right. This isn't really their high point. Sometimes they haven't been too strong on this. We have seen them do pretty well, but I think when it comes to kind of double bubble, it's a really hard composition to run. It's kind of like how you sleep at night with no anything on your bed besides just a mattress, so it can be really kind of an issue at times. But honestly, I think Tenacity, they have pretty good coaching. They have contenders, they have kind of big brain styles, especially a colorblind Wadi, so I think they have the opportunity to really pull this together.
Yeah, I mean, just like my bed, you just make it work, and sometimes you actually enjoy it, and you actually end up doing better than if you had the bedding on your bed,
Oh, that makes sense, but I'm not too surprised to be seeing Roy coming out on the Widow. I think that's honestly just for an early pick, and then most likely the Swifters won't be on that Symmetra for too long. But when it comes to Double Bubble, this is going to be a Mercy versus Brig, and what type of difference does that make?
So you're generally going to want generally people like having the Brig over the Mercy, at least when you are going into another divier comp, because without the Brig, your Ana just kind of is forced to just sit there, and you're kind of forced to dedicate so much more resources just to keep the Ana alive. Meanwhile, the people the Mercy is more preferred in the Brawl, because it's not like they have anything to really dive your Ana, so your Ana is able to sit back more free reign, as well as it allows you to give more damage output onto those DPS players, like your Echo, primarily in the comp that Tenacity is running at least.
Yeah, it helps a lot. And right now we're in a point of the phase where it's not really a fight, but more of a slow poke. Both of these teams just looking for an advantage, while Roy's on the Widow has the sight lines to try to take out any person squishy. But now we're going to be seeing the Monkey, Epic Shock, actually pushing himself, and is going to be able to take out Roy, while it seems the Monkey on the side of MI6 is not going to be able to do much. They just have to wait for their tanks to come back.
Honestly, I feel like the Widow is just kind of forced to play with the team, and even then, even with this, it's been a while now, but 25 HP nerf, it just makes Widow all the more squishier and all the more easier of a target to dive. So I don't really like the Widow into this comp personally.
definitely say I would agree. Widow is just a very unfavorable composition. You know, it's like naming your team a kind of question. So we see them moving in, kind of having the Valkyrie ready, and it looks unfortunate because Epic Shock is going to be found out by Wooly. The GOAT's going to be able to find him now. So they have to rely, give it a couple seconds until they can have the monkey back. And so, this is where kind of the ensemble goes. They use the copy to re-engage back to this fight, combined with the Valkyrie. They need to make something happen with it, especially because Andrew has that Primal Rage. Now popping in, they managed to find out Wooly's not going to be able to build up that rally fast enough. The copy's now gone, but they've done enough damage to where Andrew just feels pressured enough to be using that Primal Range. OT were able to find out Roy. Now it's an unfortunate situation to that they're low, and even though they've committed back into the fight, they don't have enough, even though it's at the Graviton Surge to end it right now.
I should also just note, because I just now figured out that Tenacity has swapped their entire DPS line, and now are running Boca J and OPA as their DPS line. But just a very good primal mechanics surprise from Boca J there on the Echo. One thing that people say about Echo players is you just gotta have, like, you gotta be able to play every player in some sort of way if you want to be a really good Echo.
Yeah, I'd say I definitely agree. We even see Bo being able to find out Roy with the Stinkies, one of the most broken abilities in the game. Now builds up a copy. The tanks are coming back, so he's helping out everyone in the server room, but now he's on the monkey, and he's looking to dive everyone. Andrew is antied, and that's not going to be very favorable. However, they do manage to find out Mustache. Oats being able to find out Andrew, so now he's pushed in, making Wooly his little, can't say that word on stream, as he's just primaling him consistently around, just trying to escape, but it looks like we're going to be seeing Tenacity being able to kind of win out this fight in a slow pace.
Yeah, Boca J on that Echo just being the shepherd to Wooly, and just not much he could do there. Just being corralled into that pen, not able to be free.
Definitely see what you mean. And now it's less than 20 seconds. They need to make something happen, just like your career, as we're just looking for them to kind of make a move. They don't really have any ultimates on the side of MI6 besides from the High Noon.
Yeah, honestly, the cart's making progress, unlike you, but it doesn't seem like it's gonna make much.
Yeah, now look, it's in overtime. We see them preparing. They got the first initial pick, and Oats is losing charge as the fight continues to go on. OPA is not going to be able to live out through this fight while the Primal Rage is used on Andrew. So Boca J is able to find Monarch to kind of help it out, but he gets shot from the High Noon. Epic Shock and Oats looking to win out this fight. The res comes in, and they're putting in a major amount of damage. It's almost like saying, you know, contenders players, because while you may look dumb, you're going to be able to win this out pretty clean in any type of conversation.
A very big grab from Oats. Oats just having a very good performance. Just honestly, just looking clean as ever. No matter what hero he's on, whether it be that Diva with the big bombs, the Zarya just pumping damage and building big grabs, and they're gonna end up full holding MI6 here, and honestly setting up a very favorable win condition here.
Honestly, I don't know really exactly what MI6 did wrong. I would say maybe a lack of target focus, but it's really hard to tell because I think they have some genuine, really good pieces, and they haven't looked terrible throughout the season. But against Tenacity, they're making a lot of quicker decisions, and they look more disciplined when it comes to these fights, and they lose someone early.
Yeah, it's just Tenacity is just having those like little things that are just giving them the upper hand, honestly. And it's just, honestly, it just seems like they're just playing as the better team, even though it's not like MI6 is playing bad. It's just Tenacity's just on like I said earlier, another level.
I would definitely agree. It's almost, you know, and I mean, that makes sense. This team is currently top of the leaderboards, even beating Marsupial Branding, which everyone claims are the kings at times, even better than your team. So now, being on this Widowmaker, they're kind of doing what MI6 were doing, and they're going to be looking for some early poke for these fights.
Yeah, kind of like to clarify what I was talking earlier about not really liking the Widow in a double bubble is running this Brig, you're kind of nullifying the opportunity to dive Diana but at the exact same time, you're just reopening that dive target back up with a Widow. But Roy is going to win the Widow duel here, so we'll see how that goes from here on out.
Roy's my boy. They're able to move that payload all the way down so the Tracer Swifter has to touch, and they're still looking for an opportunity to kind of win out this poke phase. Without that Widow, they don't have that initial kind of area to block off the sites, and look how uncontested Roy is on the high ground. They managed to put pressure onto Swifters, who's just 1v1ing a bunch of people, but Roy, once again, able to get a clean headshot. Swifters also finishing out his counterpart. Really gotta question yourself, where are the thoughts in these players' heads? Gonna have to get the police for those ones.
Honestly, kind of, actually, as Roy himself says, this is honestly a skin diff, just paying more for the skin, making it a pay-to-win duel. Very clever on his end. I'll give him credit where it's due. But they're actually having a really good hold here, but the cart is very close to encroaching on that red box of doom for MI6. And they're gonna have to just keep this up if they're gonna want to free another 2.5 minutes.
Yeah, I definitely agree. The Nano Monkey coming in, OPA using that pulse bomb's able to find out Marek. That's not good. Epic Shock has the perma range. He's putting in so much pressure onto Wooly that they're not going to have any type of support. They have to rely on the site to Graviton Surge and try to make something happen. Look, as Fifi just pops it out in panic. OPA being able to put in some damage, but it's unfortunate, a little too late. It looks like no matter how much money you get, capitalism is never the way, as Tenacity are going to be able to win. And I would say a fairly convincing 3-0 series.
That was fairly convincing. It wasn't like it was just a complete shutout, I'd say. It had its ups and downs where you could see MI6 were playing better at some points, but overall it was just way better performance from Tenacity.
Yeah, honestly. Yeah. Yeah, but honestly, what type of casting first event before, we get on to the rest? I think the other games have finished by this point, so if you want to see them, just go check out the scoreboard. However, if you can just give us a good moment, we are going to be getting out possibly a person to interview, because obviously they're in lobby right now. We got to get them in. Punny, that's the... Okay, you guys can't hear Penny, but he's mocking my process. No, we're not going to break. I was going to DM Tenacity saying who wants to join in. Tenacity, if you DM me right now, one of you can join in for the cast, because this man's ruining the flow and the process of it.
You're trying to make it look like this wasn't scripted already.
We weren't going to go to break. I was just going to have Chef talk. That was break. That is break. Okay. This team's a break.
I'm confused now.
Opa, join a VC. I'll drag you in. Listen, I'm making fun of you, Chef.
I could tell that's all you've done.
Exactly. All right, you diet, Mr. Wash. As we're just waiting for OPA to join a lobby, so we can back him right in. I see where he's at. Privileges of being staff, and we're gonna be bringing. How are you doing today?
I'm doing. I'll turn the camera on. I was worried, because I just got dragged in and I had the stream open too. But
yeah, it's no worry. But how are you doing today?
I'm doing very well. It's quite late. I'm very tired. Still kind of buzzing from yesterday.
Yeah,
today.
Yeah, had it tense match. But Chef, do you really have any questions for our good man here?
I guess you did only play on Gib as the Tracer for the most part, and I was just going to say, I guess you haven't gotten too much playtime in, but I guess for the time you have been, how have you been feeling, with the team?
Good. I'm not super available really at these times anymore. I do have a job that I have to sustain, so I only tend to sort of stay for the first hour of scrums. So I've sort of limited myself to like a few select maps as Tracer. Just like my favorite hero. But yeah, no, it's me and Bokaj have been working quite hard on sort of just because we recognized in the first match that we played. So the first map we ever dropped was Gibraltar. Subsequently, our only map we've ever dropped was Gibraltar when we first played it. And we worked really hard, and we decided that instead of putting our usual DPS players in Ben and Rav in that sort of scenario, we were going to put me and Bokaj in. because me and Bokash can play like a lot of the dive heroes. We can play a lot of the Jib friendly heroes. So yeah, we've been working quite hard on making sure that map is never going to be dropped again. And judging by the past couple of times, it's never going to be dropped again. I'm making sure of that. But yeah, no, that was a fun duel versus Swifters. He's a good Tracer player. I would have liked a bit more of a longer duel, but you know, maybe we'll have to see in playoffs. You know, maybe we'll have to see.
I definitely agree. You had a lot of opportunity to kind of flex, and I think you did very well for the only map that you kind of played. But Tenacity, have you guys really been worrying too much? I feel like because we're halfway through the regular season now, there's not much you guys have to worry about. I think besides from like keeping your #1 record from MI6 catching up. So what is really your thoughts on that?
So we didn't want to take this game different from any of the other games. We've gone into pretty much every single game with the same mindset that the people we're going up against potentially could just completely wipe us. We want to make sure that we're not like slacking. We want to make sure that we're beating every single team. We're trying to keep that mentality of never underestimating a team, no matter where they are in the standing. And especially with this team, because we understand this team was undefeated. And we were thinking sort of, you know, this is quite a big match. This is the two undefeated teams. We want to make sure that we show up. We've played against the best teams or the perceived best teams in the league at this point. We want to make sure that we show up, we show what we're made of, and we're definitely not going to struggle. And I think we've shown that to a point. There's definitely weaknesses. I think there's always weaknesses in every game. But we're going to be working really, really hard. Our next game, I believe, is... I think our next game might be Exodus.
Oh yeah, you're
Mortal Wombats. We played Mortal Wombats. Thought Police. Okay.
Yeah. So
hello
what
there.
comments? Yeah, what comments do you have for Thought Police? Honestly, one of the kind of weaker teams right now within the league.
Now, I said this in a couple of interviews prior. A week can change a team, and I mean, judging by the fact, like it was, I think it was relatively close though. Most recent game. Which game? Who are they against last game?
Double cap.
Yeah,
double cap. Okay, my bad. No, we're like, regardless of where you are in the standing, you are a worthy opponent. We're going to be taking it, like making sure that we don't slip up. We want to be flawless. Other than that one map we've dropped, but we're keeping the record. We want to keep the record. But yeah, so currently we've got Exodus, Papega Parrots, and Thought Police. We know that Thought Police and Papega Parrots haven't done as well in the season.
Yeah.
But we know that we're going to treat them like any other team. And the only team that we are genuinely excited, like really excited to play, is Exodus. We know that team has almost completely changed its roster, and they seem to look really strong. Plus, Copydog, the Gurgler, played insane yesterday, absolutely insane with that reverse sweep. So we're really excited to face them. And we're going to see who sort of we're going to work really hard on making sure that we win that match. But that sounds like that's going to be a lot of fun. But yeah, no, we're not slacking on any teams, regardless of where you are in the standings. We're going to be winning, and we're going to make sure we're going to win. No trolling. We do a little bit of trolling, but we're going to
a little bit of trolling. Mr. Chef, do you have any lasting questions for our good man here?
I mean, I don't really have any questions. I guess just good luck next week. From the manager himself, I guess.
Yeah, can't wait to see you guys have a good scrim. So I guess kind of my question is, do you have anything you want to shout out, anyone to make fun of, especially a bald manager?
I mean, I've got to say it. I've said it every interview. Oates is hot. You know, the man's nuts. There's a moment. I think you guys saw it. That grab that he got on Jib there, the 4-man, 5-man grab, which got antied. That was a huge grab, and just said I was calling for him to use it anyway. But yeah, Oates is such a consistent player, and it's been really nice to play with him. A massive shout out to Epic Shock. He performed so well. We had a few issues with Dizzy not being able to play, as he was a bit late and I had some like home issues, but Epic Shock stood in and he performed so well. Like we don't scrim him. Like we're not lying when we say we don't scrim him on any maps other than pretty much the ball maps like Nepal. So he stepped up massively on Monkey and Reinhardt for King's Row and for Gibraltar. another shout out for Bocage as well. It's really nice to see him like performing. I personally would like to get a bit more playtime. I think Bocage would like to get a bit more playtime, but we'll see how it goes. We'll see how the maps go. And yeah, big shout out to management as well. They've been great this week. It's been really nice to sort of like connect with, like make sure that we're not slipping up, and our coaches have been pretty honest and stuff. And yeah, and thank you, Swifter, for a good duel. But I'm 100% looking for another one. I'm looking for another one. I want to prove myself. I got kind of outdone a little bit, but we'll see.
Well, then you're free to go, and I'm glad to see that confidence rating off of you like something hiding in the shadows.
You wait. Yeah, we're not done yet. Tenacity is not done yet.
I'm excited for what the future holds for Tenacity.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see in our match, Chef. But we'll see.
All right, you're free to go.
Yeah.
This was definitely an interesting cast, especially because it was a re-thing, so we had to have a little bit of fun, Chef. I think it was very enjoyable for the people listening in. But do you have any really lasting comments, especially for next week?
Excited for next week. We got another round of exciting matches coming up, as well as Novice and Advanced kicking back off in the regular, I guess you could say, as they start off after their week break. And I'm excited to see where that goes. But yeah, it's been fun casting with the stereotypical tech guy from the movies. And yeah.
I definitely have to say, I had a lot of fun casting with you two. Honestly, it's going to be a lot of fun, especially with, as you said, kind of the divisions entering back up, not only with Novice, but with Advanced. We're going to be having more games, more opportunities, and more times to have enjoyment. If you enjoyed what you saw, hit that little heart. We will make sure to kind of have an opportunity to bring more games and more opportunities. There's the Twitter. There is the Discord. But either way, my name is username_Intel, your basic Hamilton Lafayette, here with a wannabe Jeff Bezos, and we will see you next time as he is on Bang Bros.